Hello, this is Sci-Fi Junk yet again on this lovely, wonderful Wednesday afternoon. And, I thought I'd go over my take on the whole Charlotte, Virginia problem that happened this weekend. I believe it happened this weekend. It seems that some people seem to think that we're still stuck in the 90s or 80s or 70s, whatever years it happened to have, problems with, blacks and whites, and, well, unfortunately, it's before my time. At least most of it was before my time. Anyway, I find that rather disappointing because right now, in this world, this day and age, people don't own people. People don't. Well, actually, I should say in the United States, people don't own people. In other countries, I can't say the same because I don't know how, if it, is the same thing in other countries. So it's like, yeah, white people and black people, and actually, I think white people actually own some white people, to be honest. You don't read that in the history books, you actually have to find that on the internet. Actually, I think some black people own black people. But the point is, people owned people. That's the point I'm trying to make. People owned people. And people saw other people different. Now, in this day and age, it seems that although people don't own people, the racism behind it still exists. And it'll most likely still exist no matter what we do. And same can be said about, violence. Violence happens every day, to be honest. But in the United States, the violence that happened in Charlotte, Virginia, well, it shouldn't have happened. I mean, granted, people rob, steal, and actually do kill people, but to take a vehicle and just drive down the street with people in the way, I mean, granted, yeah, they were in the way, but just to keep on driving because you don't agree with what they say or do, I mean, come on. That's rather stupid. And so we as people, all of us, black, white, Mexican, Asian, or Japanese, European. Let's go with European, yeah. And all the people of this lovely planet, not just the United States, but this lovely planet of, that we call Earth. We can't just run to violence to be the first thing that we use to solve problems. I mean, granted, it's inevitable in some cases, because, the wars happened, the Civil War happened, and then the World War II, World War III, and then all this other stuff going on in Afghanistan and Pakistan, and I mean, so it does happen, but we, people of the United States, can't just rush off and think violence is going to solve all the problems. So we as a people of the United States, and it doesn't matter if if you weren't born in the United States, it doesn't matter if you were, it doesn't matter. The point is, when you're in the United States, you're part of the United States. in some form or fashion. Even the undocumented people are people of the United States. Granted, they're not documented, but yeah, they're still here. Let's see, but you're here, and I mean, granted, the people that are not documented don't have to worry about a number of things if they, did stuff right. But people that were actually born here in the United States, we actually, have to conform, or not conform, but protect each other in one form or another. Conform a little bit to kind of make it in the world. But the main thing is we have to protect each other, not kill each other. I mean, to kill each other is not the way to go, to be honest. Now, let me explain the whole conformity thing. I mean, we have to conform so we can actually, know how to cook and clean and, work and stuff like that. That's what I mean by conform. Like what we learn and everything. Now, I'm not talking about, conform to, the government and shit like that. That is a whole different thing altogether, and I'm gonna let you figure that part out. But my meaning of the word conform is, staying out of jail, working, and all that good stuff. And, anyway. So, how we can combat this lovely problem that we have in Virginia that happened last weekend is, well, compassion and love are the main weapons for that. And I'm sure there's some other weapons that people might want to try to use, but those are the weapons we need to use. And to push people out of the United States simply because they kill people is not the way to go either. I mean, ultimately, it might be the way to go if, nothing else works. But we need to go ahead and try to convince them that violence is not the way to go to solve the problems. And, that's pretty much it. I mean, you can't really do much more than that. And again, I mean, to those supremacists or the white supremacists and stuff like that out there, yeah, you're still going to exist in one form or another. We can't defeat you all, but we could thin you down a little bit. And maybe, just maybe, you'll come to realize that your view of the world will change eventually. I mean, it won't change all the way to where it's all good, but it will change eventually. It will change to the point where you might reconsider what you're doing and reconsider your view of the world. And hopefully, I mean, hopefully in the end we could all just get along. I'm talking about everybody in the world. And, everybody from any country whatsoever, in the end, eventually, we're just going to have to get along. And it's either that or we start finding another planet somewhere, which, the United States will probably claim it before anybody else because that's how the United States government works. But let's just get along, find out, work out the differences between everybody, and just be friends. At the very least, let's just be friends. Come on. Anyway, that is my take on the whole Virginia Charlotte problem. And hopefully we can keep our history the way it is and not try to get rid of it like some people want to. History is history, and it needs to stay where it's at. Like if there are statues built, they need to stay where they're at. If the schools were named after somebody from that time, they need to stay named from someone at that time. Matter of fact, there was a school here in Oklahoma that is reconsidering changing their name because of the whole Virginia Charlotte problem. And to be honest, anything that has to deal with history needs to be kept. And people that get offended by history really need to learn the history before they decide to try to erase it. And maybe after they do a little research and find out that the history of the United States has its ups, has its downs, and has everything in the middle. And when they realize that, I'm sure they will reconsider their view of the United States. At least on the white supremacist KKK neo-Nazi problem. And if it doesn't, then at least they'll know a little history before they try to erase it. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate your watching. Liking, subscribing, all that lovely, wonderful stuff. And hopefully you learned something. If not, well, I do sincerely apologize for wasting your time for watching this video. And if I personally offended anybody, I do greatly apologize. This is not meant to offend anybody, and it's not meant to hurt anybody. It's not meant to promote anything. It's just a video, and it's just for me trying to tell you, at the very least, stop the violence and be kind and love each other, and do a little research before you try to hurt people. Well, because of history. Thank you very much, and have a good, wonderful rest of your day.